Hello everyone! Have you already eaten today? You probably should have waited a bit. Today we'll show you a lot of disgusting food, like cheese made with bacteria from the human belly button, or this creepy thing which could cause something like this. But you'll also learn many interesting things about food that can kill you, the danger of homemade ice cream, and the meat used to make this dish. Let's get it on. Have you heard that Coke supposedly has the power to get rid of rust? We don't know if this is true, but it can definitely leave you with no teeth. The proof is in the Hollywood smile of this 24-year-old who drank soda several times a day and didn't care about his oral hygiene. Now he has to go through all the circles of hell in the dentist's chair, and studies prove it. Specialists at the Toothwear Centre Clinic in London have found that soft drinks are one of the biggest dangers to oral health, mainly due to their high levels of acidity. So if that guy doesn't have an extra set of teeth, he should stop drinking so much Pepsi. However, tooth decay is not the worst problem sugary drinks can cause you, especially when combined with fast food. This guy, for example, remembered about his own health too late. His kidneys are practically dead. Samoa has one of the worst obesity rates in the world. The local diet consists of fatty foods, including fast food. And what's a hamburger without a soda? If you drink a 350 milliliter can every day for a year, you'll find 55,000 extra calories in your waist area. The problem with sugary drinks is that they don't actually quench your thirst, by the way. Don't be so quick to triumphantly raise a glass of juice. It also has a fair amount of calories and its nutritional value is pretty insignificant. In general, it's not worth getting carried away with a burger-soda combo, unless of course you want to get a combo of serious diagnoses like diabetes or a heart attack. But this doesn't scare some people. For example, this place with its gigantic portions of greasy food is called Heart Attack Grill and has a lot of visitors. If you think there's something alarming about this beautiful fruit, you're right. Can you believe that Aqui can cause vomiting, cramps, coma, and even death? But in Jamaica, the fruit's homeland, you shouldn't look with suspicion at the guys who offer it to you. The pulp can be an edible delicacy, but for that, you have to wait for the fruit to fully open. In any case, it's best to avoid the seeds, which contain large amounts of a toxin known as hypoglycin. Potatoes on the list of dangerous foods? That's right, and we have a story for you. In South London in 1979, 78 pupils of a boys' school were poisoned after eating potatoes. The situation was so serious that several of them even went into a coma. Needless to say, something was wrong with the product. It turned out that the potatoes had been stored since the previous summer. During that time, a critically high amount of solanine, a poison that can be easily identified in potatoes by the green color of the peel, had accumulated in them. It goes without saying that other green parts of the plant, such as leaves, stems, and above all berries, should not be eaten. Turns out, the harmless potato has its dark side. Another low blow. Homemade ice cream is a threat. More specifically, an ingredient that is used in almost every ice cream recipe, raw eggs. You probably know that they can be contaminated with salmonella. Homemade ice cream causes several outbreaks of this disease in the US each year. For vulnerable populations, such as children and the elderly, it can be deadly, but anyone will have a hard time. They'll have to spend a week hugging the toilet. Honestly, we don't want to make you afraid of all your favorite foods, but doctors are ruthless. You should be careful also with juices. Probably nobody thinks that fresh fruit or vegetable juice can be dangerous, but it is. Without pasteurization, bacteria can get into the drink, and then serious poisoning is inevitable. Again, a serious risk for people with compromised immune systems. You're too old to swallow cherry pits now, aren't you? Although if you'd done it too much as a child, you probably wouldn't be here right now. The problem isn't potential appendicitis, it's something more serious than that. Cherry pits contain amygdalin, an organic compound that, when ingested, causes the body to release cyanide. You probably know it's a powerful poison. If you eat a small handful, your blood pressure will rise and you will feel dizzy. But if you eat 50 pits, that'll probably be your last meal. A lot of things look very interesting under the microscope, but we probably shouldn't have looked at strawberries. We could have moved on without that information. Each berry harbors a lot of tiny and not at all cute bugs. Although over the course of your life, you've probably already unsuspectingly eaten so many of them that you could put them together to create one huge bug. You may know that you need special bacteria to make cheese. What if you take it from, say, someone else's armpit? Sounds like the most disgusting project ever, and it is. It's not a joke. The American scientist Christina Agapakis obtained 3 samples of microorganisms from the nose, tears, and navel of different volunteers. But armpits can also be used, and produced 11 types of cheese with them. The most terrible thing is that according to the creator, the cheese retains the smell of the donor. In general, it's not very pleasant to have food moving around on the plate, but when it's a slippery, live octopus, that dish can win an award for the most disgusting food. But Koreans like sannakji, even though the wriggling tentacles can retaliate and cut off the air supply through the throat. If the previous videos didn't make you feel anything in your stomach, it's time for the heavy artillery. A quick glance at this treat is enough to lose your appetite for a couple of days. Wait, you haven't seen the inside yet? The most important thing is the composition. A boiled duck egg in which a fetus with plumage, cartilage, and beak has already formed. This sounds like medieval torture, but in the Philippines, balut is a very popular dish. It's considered an aphrodisiac, and to get the maximum benefits, you should also drink the amniotic fluid. Connoisseurs say balut tastes like boiled calf's liver. Let us know how it tastes if you're brave enough to try it. This might be what spaghetti that's been on the table for 6 months looks like, but in reality, you're looking at one of the most expensive delicacies in Spain. Yes, you'll have to pay money to taste it, and quite a lot at that. The price of baby eels, used to prepare this dish known as angulas, reaches up to 1,000 euros per kilo. Buying a plate full of these worms is, above all, a way to show your status, so they probably taste no better than they look. You've probably heard of protein production from worms and crickets, but did you think it's the most disgusting thing you could expect from the food of the future? Scientists have a surprise for you. In 2016, they studied a protein crystal located in the midgut of these creatures, one of the few viviparous cockroaches that feed their young with a kind of milk. Guess where this is going?
Oh my God. No.
Scientists want to learn how to grow these crystals and produce a superfood based on them. The milk of these cockroaches is 4 times more nutritious than cow's milk, if that can make it any better.
Hi!
A popular dish in eastern China is drunken shrimp. Did you imagine prawns fried in wine or marinated in liquor? No, it's more literal. These are prawns that are drunk. The live, raw crustaceans are tossed into a cup of strong alcohol, such as the local 60% proof balut, and when they lose their mobility, you can eat them whole and enjoy their crunchy shells, whiskers, and legs. Imagine opening a can and all you see inside are fat, fleshy worms. Disgusting? In Korea, boiled silkworm larvae are one of the most popular snacks and are sold everywhere. They're not notable for their taste, so they're usually cooked with hot spices. However, the smell is said to be similar to that of a garbage can. As if the fact that you're eating worms wasn't enough. Horrible storage and production conditions. You might think that unlike sausages or some other perishable product, rice isn't hard to store. You put the bag anywhere and that's it. What can happen to it? Well, the author of these images in China has discovered the answer to that question. Thousands of insects smaller than rice can infest it if storage conditions are inadequate. You think it's possible to get them all out of there? If you like to order spicy chicken on Fridays, you better not watch this video. Don't say we didn't warn you. Although after watching the previous videos, we're sure that in some countries this would be considered an extra ingredient and customers wouldn't be upset. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary plate of shredded chicken, except that it's not from a supermarket, but from a garbage dump. That sounds crazy, but many street food vendors in the Philippines do it. It's the only way to make the dish cheaper so the poor can afford it. Of course, we're not talking about inedible leftovers. Most of them are chickens from the hotels that are thrown away after the broth is cooked, and all they do is wash them and fry them properly. It seems that these guys in India have decided that carrots can also be used to make wine. The funny thing is that the authorities regularly fine stores and markets for doing this, but the situation keeps repeating itself. Apparently, the workers get a lot of pleasure out of the process. After washing the carrots with your feet in the muddy stream, you have to grate them and add something to them. Sewer oil from China would be a great option. Before you get sick, let's get one thing straight. China has special grease traps between the kitchens and the sewer system. Some enterprising people take out its contents, melt it down, and get recycled oil, which is bought by restaurants that want to save a little money. So the oil is not taken right out of the sewers, but it's still kind of disgusting. Chili pepper goes very well with chicken meat, but not with rat meat. Although judging by the workers' composure, this combination is common. Hopefully you won't be reminded of this image every time you need spices.